I didn't know how to feel about this show. It's John Wick without John Wick, but it's pretty cool. Hello, welcome to Just My Thoughts. I'm your host Khaleel Ward. On this episode, I'll be talking about the Continental. It's a Peacock show. It's only 3 episodes. Each episode is at least an hour and 20 minutes. I would break down the 3 parts as part 1 is intro to the characters. Episode 2 is the plan. And episode 3 is the execution. We do get a lot of flashbacks to 1955 in the Bronx because that's where Winston is from. And I know in the movies we see Winston as this sophisticated gentleman who loves the finer things, but he comes from the mud. So in terms of characters, we have Winston and his brother Frankie. Frankie is his older brother, and they got into trouble growing up. At some point, Carmack, who's played by Mel Gibson, he's the manager of the Continental, the position that Winston holds in the movies. He gets them and he makes them errand boys, sends them out, do little things here and there. So they get into trouble. And at some point, they get into trouble and Frankie takes the blame. Winston gets sent off to London. That's how he becomes the sophisticated gentleman that he is in the movies. You have Yen. She's Frankie's wife. She's very dangerous. She knows how to handle herself in a fight. You have Miles, Lou, and Lemmy. They're like a group. Miles and Lou are siblings. They sell guns. But at some point, Winston has to come to them for help because they used to work with Frankie. Then you also have Jenkins. Jenkins used to have a room in the Continental. He knows Miles and Lou's father, and he's a deadly sniper. He kind of reminds you of William Dafoe's character in the first movie. So those are the characters. Well, Mel Gibson, he's the manager, but he's one of those bad guys who... he's just the bad guy. He doesn't really do anything. Like, he kills people that he shouldn't be messing with. So it's like he doesn't feel like he's in control. It feels like everything is happening around him and he's reacting to stuff. He's not great in this series, I would say. But let's get into what happened. So Frankie, when he grows up, he comes back and works for Carmack. We learn that he went to like Vietnam and everything. And Frankie is the killer. Winston is the business guy. Frankie, if you're looking for like a little John Wick stuff, Frankie does that early on. But he steals a coin press. And we know how valuable coins are in the John Wick universe. He does that, he disappears. So Carmack finds Winston in London and brings him back to New York. And he's like, you need to find your brother. And I'm gonna kill him. I'm gonna kill you too. And Winston doesn't have a real relationship with his brother. So he's like, I don't care where he's at. I don't care what he does. Because when they were growing up, Frankie pushed him away so he wouldn't have to live this life. And eventually, he finds his brother. He finds Yen, learns that that's his wife. And craziness ensues where Winston is stuck in this world that he had no idea what it was. Like, he was doing his own thing in London, being a business guy. And his brother got him brought into this life of what goes around the Continental. His brother dies, and he wants revenge. So that's his motivation, to get revenge for what happened to his brother. And he needs the help of Miles, Lou, Lemmy. Episode 2 is basically bringing a crew together to take down the Continental. He knows a little bit of the rules, like there's no fighting on Continental grounds and stuff, and that Carmack has people everywhere. So he's looking for a crew, and we see the Bowery, the Lawrence Fishburne, character in the John Wick series. We see the beginning of them. We see that it's run by a black woman, and she doesn't really play by those rules. She does her own thing, just like in the John Wick universe. The Bowery, it's a bunch of homeless people and stuff. It's the same thing here. We see Sharon, the assistant to the manager. We see Charlie. Charlie is the cleanup guy in the first John Wick when he has the shootout in his house and Charlie comes with all his people. We see that guy. We see a lot of familiar faces or names from the John Wick universe, and it's dope to see. I think the guy who plays Winston is cool. He's always thinking ahead. He always has a plan. Again, his brother was the fighter. You do get some fight scenes. You get some hand-to-hand combat. Lou is really good because her father has like this karate dojo. She doesn't like guns, so she likes to fight hand-to-hand. Yen is deadly. Like, if they wanted to unleash her, she could kill a lot of people. Miles can handle himself in a fight, knows how to use a gun. So everybody can really handle themselves except Winston. He is not really a fighter. Whenever he gets into a tussle, it's a struggle. Like, he may hit somebody, he may stab somebody or shoot somebody, but it takes a lot of work. So he's not really that guy. It's not a story of like Winston was this cold-blooded killer. Episode 3 again is the execution of this crazy plan that he's thought out to take down the Continental, and it works. Everything works for me in this particular series. It's not too much. Again, the episodes are very long, so we get to spend time with these characters. You do have side characters, these cops, and they're sleeping together, and you're wondering like, why are these cops involved? Because again, nobody really messes with the Continental. They do what they do, and we learn the importance of both of these cops. And I was like, oh, that makes sense. It fits. It works. It's not too much. We do see them, interacting, and then you never know, like, why are they important? And then we finally learn in the 3rd episode why they're important, and it works. I enjoy the show. It's nothing over the top. It's not trying to be John Wick. It's different enough. You have a couple of gun fu moments, but nothing like crazy like John Wick. It's nothing extended like John Wick. We do have some good hand-to-hand combat scenes. So it's not trying to be John Wick. It's just a spin-off, and it's done right, I thought. And in 3 episodes, again, I wasn't sure what to expect, but I liked it. If you like John Wick and you're looking for something more informational and a little different, this is the show to check out. It's really good. Continental is on Peacock. If you watched it, let me know what you thought about it. Thanks for watching. Thank you.